Namaste, everyone. Welcome to the Heartbeat of Rajasthan, a first time festival focused on celebrating the great women of Rajasthan, the great women artists of Rajasthan, and the great arts of Rajasthan, mainly focused on dance, but celebrating Rajasthani dance from classical to folk. So I'm happy to see all of you. If you're joining us live, feel free to put on your video. It is an encouragement for the speaker to see faces, live faces. I just want to welcome everyone from all over the world. I know many of you and some of you I don't know. If you'd like to just say hi in the chat, please let us know where you're tuning in from. I think it's it's amazing that we have an interest of classical Indian dance and Rajasthani culture all over the world. I think it's very encouraging. So just write us in the chat where you're tuning in from. And I'm Kalina Shakti. I am organizing this event. So I just want to give a quick introduction and then I'll hand it over to our first speaker. But this festival is a labor of love. My heart beats in Rajasthan, and I think yours will too if you listen to the music, if you witness the dance, if you get to do the dances of Rajasthan. There's something so natural in the rhythm. There's something so captivating in the presentation. And I think that's why there's a growing interest around the world. So I wanted to create, for the first time, as far as I know, I'd like to know if it's ever been done before, but an online conference having intelligent conversation with all of you intelligent, beautiful, mostly women, and most of you practitioners of dance. So having intelligent conversations about dance is something that is very valuable. It's going to help us find a healthy direction for our dance to grow in and to really establish a community that stretches across the globe, to share resources, to share ideas. So particularly some of my interest is that classical dance in India has a great stature, has a great platform. It needs so much improvement, of course, but it has a great stature and support. Whereas the folk dances might not have the same support and issues, social issues within many of the performing communities are something that comes to all of our minds as people interested in this aspect of culture. So I hope that coming together in a conference, we can have these kind of intelligent conversations, sharing of ideas, and find ways that we can create a better platform for traditional arts to thrive and to reach a farther audience. So that's my wish of this event. And today we're very lucky to begin with Manisha Gulyani ji. She is an extraordinary and unique Kathak dancer. I actually heard about her only just last year. I was in Bangalore with some Kathak dance friends of mine, and I said, "Yeah, I live in Rajasthan." I just introduced myself. I live in Rajasthan, and all these Kathak dancers said, "You live in Rajasthan? You must know Manisha Gulyani." I said, "No, I don't know." So immediately they pulled up a video and they showed me her dance, and like as if I'm from Rajasthan and she is Rajasthan is kind of how they presented her to me. And I just have to say, I feel very cheated that after 20 years in Rajasthan, I have not seen you perform live, Manisha, and I very much intend to fix that. It's my wish and my dream, but I'm so happy to have you here speaking because when I watch you perform through video, I can see that you are an intelligent dancer and that thinking process is very much a part of your craft. Not only you're beautiful and graceful and masterful, but I can see that a lot of thought has gone in behind your dance and and I just am so inspired and so much respect for that. So without any more introduction, I just want to welcome you. Our first talk will be on Kathak dance. So Manisha ji, I'll hand it over to you.
Thank you so much, Kulina, for this beautiful introduction. Namaste, everybody. First of all, thank you so much for having me here on this platform. I would like to congratulate you, Kulina, for organizing this wonderful Heartbeat of Rajasthan Festival. During my conversation with you, I realized that through this festival, you are trying to create thinking dancers. I really admire your spirit and your commitment towards your work, which is inspiring for all of us. I also welcome all the participants who have joined here today from all over the world and are part of this very, very important idea. I hope I am clearly audible to all of you. Okay. So my topic for today's talk is Kathak. No, actually Kathak in Rajasthan. I'll be sharing my information in the capacity of a Kathak practitioner, whatever I have learned, experienced, heard from my gurus, especially from Pandita Prerna Shrimali ji, from my seniors, from Kathak legends, and from significant books I have read so far about Kathak. To connect dots, I'll be starting from Kathak briefly because Corina asked me to explore historical aspects of Kathak here in Rajasthan, its origin, its evolution. So let's start with Kathak first. We know that Kathak is one of the ancient classical dance forms of India. There are various beliefs revolving around Kathak's origin and evolution. Because thinkers tried to link the Kathak history through Kathak practitioners who were completely dedicated in practicing, preserving, and propagating the dance form. They were not associated with the work of defining, discussing, criticizing, and developing the dance form as research scholars, as we all know this. These practitioners had their limited information with almost no knowledge about history and anthology of Kathak. Also, there were no written historical records available, unfortunately. Many people consider Kathak dance very close and almost similar to many ancient dances. Some people completely claim it as gift of Mughal courts of post-medieval period and dominantly center an incomplete history of 150 to 200 years around Nawab Wajid Ali Shah of Awadh region of Uttar Pradesh. Some intellectuals believe Ras dance, which was performed by Lord Krishna in Dwapar Yuga, is an earlier form of Kathak dance. It is also strongly suggested that Kathak is deeply associated with storytellers of temple tradition, who gradually started expressing stories through facial expressions and body movements along with music. Hence is called Kathak. Because the literal meaning of the word Kathak is storyteller. Most of the work we find is not more than 150 years and is all about gharanas in general. Gharana means important schools, styles of Kathak, where this dance form flourished to its peak and got popularity. So, majorly we have 4 gharanas at present. Jaipur Gharana, of course, Lucknow Gharana, Banaras Gharana, and Raigad Gharana. These names are based on the city as the royal courts of these cities patronized this dance form and helped Kathak to achieve its peak in their respective art forms. Rajasthan has given remarkable contribution and has very, very important place in creating, developing, and spreading Kathak dance from all over the world. Many generations have passed and proven sources of Kathak tradition is still available of approximately last 300 years. Founders of Kathak dance of Lucknow, whether it's Ishwari Prasad ji and Banaras Gharana, whether it's Janki Prasad ji, were also the residents of Rajasthan only. Nearly 32 families of various villages of Churu region of Rajasthan initiated a movement for the development of this dance form and reigned the whole Bharat. There is unmatched history and glorious tradition of Kathak dancers of Rajasthan. Due to devout behavior of Rajasthani emperors, Kathak maintained its pure, spiritual, and valorous aspect of dance. The royal courts of Bikaner and Jaipur region harbored and preserved this dance form for a very, very long time period. Ancient treatises of Rajasthan can make us understand the prior form of Kathak dance, and the antiquity of this dance form can be proved through the Kathak traditions of Rajasthan. Here we have a big society of traditional Kathak dancers. We have seen many rising stars who marked their outstanding place in Kathak world, and they successfully created future generations of Kathak. These generations brought up here, and after attaining Kathak training in young age, they took full charge to promote Kathak. They were forced to leave the state due to wars in feudal era, due to struggles for life, due to constant scare of drought, because we are here in Rajasthan, and due to end of patronage. Wherever they went, they set new benchmarks of success in their respective fields. In fact, they created art lovers in the society. A new class in the society came into existence with constantly growing families of these Kathak dancers. And it got settled finally because of Guru Shishya Parampara, or we may say that Guru-disciple tradition. They were majorly focused on work and had no greed to get fame. The passing on of Kathak education was totally based on system of oral traditions. As I said earlier, that there was nothing written record. There was no written record. And due to their signature style in the composition, some of the artists are well known in the fraternity till date. There is relevant literature mentioned on music and dance in many handwritten treatises in Rajasthan. Many Rajasthan rulers of different estates were artistic, appreciative, and musicians themselves. Hence, they created Gunijan Khanas, a special place in royal courts for scholarly and gifted artists to support, preserve, and respect their work and accredit these art forms. They themselves wrote and also made others write various texts on music and dance. We can clearly see the shape and form of then music and dance in the multi-dimensional famous paintings of Royal Rajasthan. Rare artifacts on music and dance are found in old aesthetic temples of Rajasthan from 8th century, which shows the popularity of dance in common life. And it's all safe in the temple architecture of Rajasthan till date. So we see the references of dance in Rajasthan in old handwritten texts, in sculptures of temples, in miniature paintings, in Bhakti tradition, and in ancient theatre traditions too. I'm sharing few references how we find traces of Kathak in old literature of Rajasthan. Please see this excerpt of dance composition written by nobody else but grandson of Bikaner ruler Prithviraj Rathod 400 years ago. It's in Rajasthani Hindi. Kanhaiya Nityashtakam Amrit Dhunidda Thagardek Tatathe Tatathe. So tatathe are the syllables of Kathak dance. Niratat Syam Saban Sukhadaya Thakamrigan Thakit Sur Gandharv Sur Viman Sab Thakitat Rahiya Sakala Prana Prithviraj Sukhavi Kahi Bajat Mridangatat Nachat Kanhaiya. So in these texts also, we have traces of the original syllables of Kathak dance, which is 400 years ago. Radha Govind Sangeet Sar, written in Jaipur during Maharaja Pratap Singh, is one complete musical treatise which is very important for its theoretical and fortunately for practical information of Kathak dance. Sangeet Darpan by Hari Vallabh ji, Surasao by Madhodas ji, Raghunath Rupak by Mancharam ji, Brajnidhi Granthavali by Purohit Harinarayan Sharma are one of the very, very few examples. During medieval times, several temples of Jaipur, Kota, Kakroli, and Nathdwara, and royal courts of Jaipur, Udaipur, Jodhpur, Kishangarh, Alwar, and Bikaner were the main center for the artists of music and dance. In fact, the favorite deity of rulers of Kishangarh is Nritya Gopal, that is the dancing form of Krishna, where Nagari Das, the prince himself, was an accomplished Kathak dancer. The old literature of Rajasthan is full of Kathak dance and its syllables. We find number of references of dance by royal courtesans and by Kathak dancers in courts of Rajput rulers. I would like to share two important mentions of history here. In 1726, when Jaipur was founded, Kathak dancer Samal Das ji from Churu region was invited to perform in Jaipur. It's written. And then in 1811, Sri Govind Lal ji, a royal court Kathak dancer of Bikaner, was invited to perform in America. Jaipur Gharana of Kathak dance represents ancient Hindu culture, which was developed not in one single family or at one place, but symbolizes all the Kathak families of Rajasthan. So when I talk about Jaipur Gharana, it means the whole Rajasthan. And there are 400 to 500 years old authentic sources of inherited tradition of Kathak available in Rajasthan. It took centuries to develop Kathak dance to form its shape. Poetry of dance syllables of various local languages of Rajasthan by itself proves that Kathak dance of present time is the gift of Rajasthan only. Jaipur Gharana is the oldest Gharana of Kathak, which is still carrying the Hindu dance tradition of North India. The dancing tradition of Rajasthan was associated with temples and royal courts simultaneously. Hence, we find Kathak presentations on Dhrupad music, on various prabandhs, chand, and savaiya. Initially, the Kathak dance was supposed to be male-oriented dance forms. The speciality of, in fact, all other classical dance forms, most of them. The speciality of Kathak in Rajasthan is rhythmic spectacles and accuracy. The force, very big and long technical compositions with so many variations and, of course, complexity, diversity, spontaneity, expansions, mastery over subtleties, command over lasya ang, which is beauty, grace, and femininity. We do a lot of kavits, unlike others, due to social religious inclinations. See, it's about the climate and temperament of the region. Rajasthan is supposed to have very extreme conditions. And that's what we see in the dance form also. Kavits are like poetry in Kathak, weaved in rhythm. One step pirouette is also the contribution of Kathak dancer from Rajasthan only. Clarity and agility of footwork. It's very common to dance on tal like dhamar, which is 14 beats, ek tal, 12 beats, ashtamangal, 11 beats, brahma tal, 28 beats, and ganesh tal, 18 beats. It's very common. Then Jaipur Gharana is famous for nritya presentation, or say abstract dance presentation. It's very usual to do Thaat, Amad, Toda, Tukda, Paran, Parmelu. These all are abstract compositions, technical compositions in any tal, which is the time cycle. Presentation on uncommon and difficult tals. Very distinct way of doing Thaat, in which dancer glides on stage in various directions and show different forms of rhythm through brows, neck, and wrist movements, very subtle movements. The climate of Rajasthan is extreme in nature, and then the desert, which should be responsible for the slow temperament and lot of patience in artists. which is as it is visible in Kathak presentation. Kathak dancers of Rajasthan present tukras, parans in slow tempo, which is comparatively tough because my Guruji says the gap between two beats is more here when you are dancing in slow tempo. And to fill that gap gracefully is certainly a mastery. So the speediness, and then see the contrast is that you are dancing in slow tempo and your speed is ati drut. So how complex it is and how structured it is. So the speediness, the preparation, the brilliance, the fire, complicated compositions, and the diverse usage of pirouettes are particular characteristics of Kathak in Rajasthan. Footwork, as per the tal. The footwork has to be as per the tal, is developed here in Rajasthan according to ancient dance treatises. Earlier, the tradition of dancing very long gatbhav was used to be one of the special character of Jaipur Gharana, but now it's done in other gharanas also. Creating dancing syllables from meaningless words and weaving these syllables and also syllables of tabla and pakhavat, which is very important part of Kathak dancing, in various ragas made a special place for Jaipur style of Kathak dance. In Kathak, dancing abhinay without the base of any geet, kind of you don't have lyrics, but you are doing abhinay. Dancing trivat and chaturang, all are specialities of Jaipur style. Presenting complete stories in 3x4, 4x4 or 5x4 meter with kavits, with bhav batana is certainly a task in fast tempo. The tradition of usage of mand gaiki, mand, is also from old times. The prevalence of thumri is seen in 19th century. And how is it possible to not to have an influence of rich folk culture of Rajasthan in Kathak? There are various wrist movements and circular movements as it is used in Kathak from Rajasthani folk dances. Hence, there is a lot of influence we see of folk dances in Kathak dance in both the aspect, whether it is abstract or expressional. Most of the abhinay we do in Kathak are based on Rajasthani literature, whether it is apad or kavit or savaiya, taken from these folk arts. For example, the two most common compositions we do in Kathak here in Rajasthan has entirely folk effects, like Rangila Shambhu. Rangila Shambhu is a very common composition which is taken from Tamasha folk theatre of Rajasthan, and then various Meera bhajans, whether it is Thane Kai Kai Keh Samjhava or Nath Maru Mari Dijo Ji Girdhari. They are so common and so prominent that these compositions are in use as it is for last 50 years at least. So Abhinay on Rajasthani text in Kathak has become an independent discipline here. In fact, we see resemblance of Bhavai dance in Kathak, as it is commonly known that earlier Kathak dancers used to draw elephant or Ganesh while dancing through dry colors, through their footwork. Dancing on batashas, it's a sweet candy kind of thing, sugar candy, very soft, in such a way that not a single batasha is broken and you're dancing on those batashas. Dancing on the stool of arranged standing nails, which we see in Bhavai dance, right? Dancing with balancing 7 brass or earthen pots on head. Dancing in plate full of water where not a single drop of water should go out. Dancing on sharp edges of swords, dancing on wooden planks in water bodies. Dancing on broken pieces of glass, where we see common practice in Bhavai dance too. The costume of Kathak dance is also influenced from Rajasthani costume. These costumes are as it is used in Kathak, whether it's blouse, skirt and dupatta or long angrakha type of coat. Kathak maestros like Shamlal ji, Janki Prasad ji, Hari Prasad ji, Hanuman Prasad ji, Shankar Lal ji, Chunni Lal ji, Durga Prasad ji, Badri Prasad ji, Jay Lal ji, Sundar Prasad ji and Narayan Prasad ji are all from Rajasthan only. And today, at present, we have Pandit Girdhari Maharaj ji, Dr. Shashi Sankla, Pandita Prerna Shrimali, Dr. Rekha Thakur, practicing here, teaching here. They are senior gurus here in Rajasthan. We have Kathak institutes like Rajasthan Sangeet Sansthan, Jaipur Kathak Kendra. We have Rajasthan University, Banasthar University, and they are providing professional degree and diploma courses here in Kathak. We have number of students who really want to learn, acquire, and be professional Kathak dancers here in Rajasthan. So, and a huge and a long list of young Kathak dancers also, those who are practicing this dance form. So this is what I had to say. And I think the journey of Kathak is just going on and, rising day by day. So that's what, from my side, this is what I could write in these 3-4 days, Kulina. I hope I answered all your questions. Otherwise, I mean, this is open for questions.
Thank you so much, Manisha ji. I will open for questions. So if any of the participants want to ask a question, you can either type it in the chat or you can just use the raise hand option. I just wanted to, if I could kind of get in and ask a few questions before we move on to other questions, but you mentioned some handwritten treaties of Rajasthan. Could you just list those again? Could you say those again?
Oh,
like they're available in some archives, and
they are, most of them are available in the royal courts.
Mm-hmm.
You won't find it everywhere, and they don't allow generally, for even to researchers also, they are not giving to study, because I don't know what is their apprehension. But yes, yeah.
Okay,
so I can just tell you about those. Yeah, it's there are many. I chose some of them. The first is this Radha Govind Sangeet Sar.
Mm-hmm.
This was written in Jaipur. Radha Govind Sangeet Sar.
Mm-hmm.
Then Sangeet Darpan.
Mm-hmm.
Then one is Surasau.
Mm-hmm.
Raghunath Rupak. And one is Brajnidhi Granthavali.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I understand these resources are really hard to get, and obviously they belong in the private family archive of the royal families. So thank you.
As
And
far
then
as I know, Jaipur is little strict about it, but I'm sure that you will get to see, or you will get to get these to read this in Bikaner court.
okay.
It's available there. Yeah.
Okay. Before I ask any more questions, would anyone like to pose a question or make a comment? Nancy, I'll read your question unless you would like to read it yourself. Okay. So she says, if I understand correctly, you had mentioned the local conditions impact styles of Kathak, and that Rajasthan's extreme weather influences the style. Could you give some specific examples of that?
Yeah, as I told you that because there is, desert is there. So because in sand, if you are walking also, you will walk slow, right? So when we dance in Kathak, we generally dance in slow tempo, as I told you. Okay, and then there is Rajput culture here. So you will see the dominance of Veerras, in our dance form. There is a lot of vigor, there is a lot of masculinity. In fact, some people say that Jaipur Gharana of Kathak is supposed to be Tandav Pradhan, Tandav dominant dance form. So That's how you will see all this. In fact, colors, you will see the colors of costumes here. You will see the temperament of dancers, because when you are in extreme conditions, your things will not be as simple. So the compositions are also very, very complicated here. Like, for example, if I say a simple syllable like dha, dhan, dha, kititaka didata digina naganana, dada kititaka tata kititaka tata kititaka dada kititaka digina kattida katta katta gintara kada dhinta kadigina dada anda kititaka digina nanda kititaka gintara. So these kind of complexity of rhythm, complexity of syllables, you will find in their compositions also, in their dance also, and of course in their music also.
Thank you. I thought I heard kind of a folk dance rhythm in that bowl at some point that our local Nagara master calls the camel rhythm. This kind of groove that you find a lot in folk drumming. So another question's come in from Erica. If I understand right, some of Kathak hand movements are originally from folk dance. Could you show us some of those movements?
Yeah, like so in folk dances, we are doing this movement, right? We do this movement a lot, wrist movement. And in Kathak, we are doing all the movements, all the directions. We are doing these movements only when it's about rounds, whatever we do. When the basic first step of Rajasthani dance, we are using this movement everywhere in Kathak dance form, whether these are circular movements or straight movements, whatever we are doing. It's the base, you can easily see, that it's coming like this if you observe properly.
Manisha, I'll jump in with another one of my questions, unless anyone has something else. My question is about caste and Kathak. Um, I follow this wonderful blog, I can share it with the group, about historical dance photos of India. And so many times I've seen this one particular photo. I'll share it in the Facebook group or the Facebook event if anyone wants to see it. And it's the description given in this historical photo is that these are Kathak dancers of Jaipur. And when I look at the bodies of the dancers, meaning the health of the dancers, the tonality of their skin, the fabric of their dress, to me, they look like very impoverished. First of all, like kind of malnourished, very kind of street performers. And then of course, you see in like miniature paintings, you see this very opulent costuming, very clearly refined bodies of dancers. So I can imagine that throughout history, there must have been a range of kind of where dancers existed in society. So I just wonder if you could give any insight, like historically, these like Kathak dancers in the courts of Rajasthan held a very high place, or we had like tiers of dancers, and is it attached to a caste? Because in folk dance, you have very specific caste and community attached to certain dances. So if you could say anything about that.
As far as as far as I know, and I have heard from my seniors, in royal courts, of course, they were placed in a very high place, right? But as I told you, that Kathak dancers were, it's not like one family. It was, there are villages here so everyone doesn't get the chance to be a royal court dancer, or so rest of them are from these Sujangarh Churu region dancers only. So you will see them and them, the villagers, how do they look, how do they, what all they wear, and how do they live their lifestyle and everything. And Kathak dance is a very, it's a very laborious dance, very hard training. And so I guess that also includes, because if you are not surrounded with good lifestyle, so the rigorous training will also show on in your, that will also give, I think, reflect in your body or whatever your attire. I guess that should be one reason. That's what I can say at the moment.
So there is not a particular caste that has ever been associated with Kathak.
There is, in fact, the caste is Kathak only. Those who, those Kathak is a community. It's a dance form also, and it's a community also. And there are not only one caste; there are many castes. I can share with you. I don't remember the names, but I can share with you. There are 8 to 10 castes are there who are involved with this particular dance form. And there is one community which is also known as Kathak storytellers. And in that community, it's not important that all are dancers. So Kathak are dancers. Kathak is the name of a dance also, dancers also, and Kathak is the name of community also. So like if I am Manisha Gulyani, they say they are Manisha Kathak. Kathak is their surname. So it's a community also, both ways.
And this community is still performing Kathak?
Not all, but yes, some of them. Not all, some of them. Because if you're telling story, it is not important that you're telling story through dance only. Right? You can sing also, you can act also, or you can just speak also. So you are storyteller. If you're a storyteller, you are Kathak. But in that community, there can be dancers also.
Okay, I'll just pose my last thought. It's not like a perfectly formed question, but one of my intentions for this festival, I am both a classical dancer, Odissi dancer, and a folk dancer. And within my own body and my own life and my own kind of daily routine, I have found the need for both the classical and the folk, and kind of bridge those two together. I find it really balancing to as a Odissi also is quite a rigid, like structured form. We don't have any improvisation. So folk dance has really helped me, helped feed my classical, and then of course the classical helps to feed the folk. So I'm somebody who's really interested in this, bridging the gap. And one of my intentions for the festival was to bridge the gap, between classical and folk, because it's very palpable. When every now and then I'll introduce myself, I don't know, as an Odissi dancer, and you see kind of contemporary dancers or folk dancers like, and then you get it from the other side, the classical, oh, you do folk. So there is this kind of like social divide. And certainly the location of training, the training that does take place, and the placement of performance and presentation is quite different between folk and classical. And also, like, it's very rare that folk dancers will sit and talk with classical dancers. So here we are, there's many people who practice, one or the other. So we're already bridging the gap, but I just wondered if you had any thoughts about what is the gap between classical and folk, and what does it mean to bridge the gap? And is it something we should try to do, or is it, I mean, surely there's a benefit and there's also some mutual exchange that could happen, but what are your thoughts on that?
If you are, see, the basic difference is, of course, the training, right? If you are a folk dancer, then it will certainly help you to become a better classical dancer. There is no doubt about it. Because when you're dancing folk, both the dances are here in Rajasthan or in India. Dances are grounded in nature, whether it is folk or classical. Second thing is that if you're talking about rigidity of the classical dance, so it is rigid in the beginning, and gradually uh, it is not at all rigid, because after completion of your training, if you are dancing, and if the dance is looking rigid, then the training is not completed yet. So it starts from the rigidity, and then you have to attain the fluidity, and I guess because it is a performing art, you have to perform on concert stages, right? So the process is very different. But in folk dance forms, because the aim of folk dance is not to perform on stage, basically, for the first place. So it is very fluid in nature, fluid here mentally. But when it comes to that, you have to perform that folk dance on stage, you try to structure it, and you have to take the help of rigidity then. So I guess it's vice versa. For classical, you are starting from rigidity to fluidity, and in folk dance, from fluidity to rigidity to perform on stage. Otherwise, it's not required at all.
I love that answer. Thank you so much. That was really, really beautiful. And I had to write this down, that Indian dance is grounded in nature, and it's absolutely true of classical and folk, and we can really feel that.
It's towards the gravity. It's not against the gravity. So, yeah.
Okay, so if anyone has any further questions, this is the last moment, but otherwise, we just want to thank you, Manisha, for coming here, taking your time and sharing your thoughts and your knowledge. And I am more inspired than ever to see you dance. So please tell us when your next performance is. We're coming to Jaipur.
Yes,
Claudia,
certainly.
if you have a question, Claudia, you can unmute yourself.
Hi, thanks so much. Thanks so much, Manisha ji. It's very interesting, everything you have shared with us.
Thank you so much.
I have just a quick question. Like, as you mentioned, like these families and these villages where they dance Kathak in a more, maybe as I understood, in a more local way. Would you say like this is a less classical form of Kathak? Like I have seen Kathak, like my Guruji is from Jaipur Gharana, and she's very clean with the lines and very sharp on how she performs the Kathak. This is what I love about Kathak, Jaipur Gharana. But when I went to Jaipur, I saw performing or practicing some other dancers from Jaipur, and they didn't look like Jaipur Gharana from my teacher. So I was like, oh, this is like softer, like a little bit rounded. Like I could feel it had something more local, like less formal, I could say. I don't know. What do you think about that? Like, do you think
that's a very good question. Thank you so much. Actually, what I feel and what I have observed, that as I told initially, that Jaipur Gharana doesn't belong to one family or one place. There are various families, and you will see the difference not only from one guru to another guru. You will see the difference in the same different disciples of same guru also. Somehow the Kathak dance, the approach of Kathak dance is very, very subjective. It's a very personal dance form. The same dance, you will see, if I am dancing the same repertoire, and if one of my fellow is dancing the same repertoire, it will be entirely different. It has to have that personal thing, that that personal approach into it. So it's more about your personality, your individualistic approach, how you are approaching your Kathak, right? First of all. And second thing, that the variety of content is so different from in all the gurus of Jaipur, that you will not find the same content anywhere. So that also makes the difference, because the content is also different here with every guru. That's the richness and the beauty also.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Manisha ji. We really appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank
Okay. All the best.
thank
Bye.
you. Thank you. I'd like to welcome Himani Joshi to come on. There you are, Himani ji. I won't take a long time to give an introduction, but I fondly remember my first trip to Rajasthan so many years ago. And I saw a folk presentation, a folk performance in Udaipur at your institute. And it was then and there that I decided I have to dedicate my life to Rajasthani folk dance because it's so beautiful and so graceful. So you have been a huge support and contributor um, in propagating Rajasthani folk dance with your institute in Udaipur. Please give an introduction to your institute. I don't feel I could give the proper introduction, but please tell us about your institute because I think many of us travel in Rajasthan and we absolutely have to come to your institute. And Himaniji is going to speak to us about Rajasthani dance in its various forms and the community practitioners. Welcome, Himaniji.
Thank you, Colin Jai. Thank you so much. And Manisha ji, it was very insightful presentations. So, thanks a ton because it was awesome presentation. Though I'm not connected to classical dance forms, but I got connected through your presentation, through your information also. Hello, everyone. Myself, Himani Joshi, and I am director of Dharohar Institute of Folk Art, but I'm connected to Dharohar Folk Dance Sansthan, which you might be knowing. We organize a daily evening cultural show in Udaipur. If you have been to Udaipur and if you have seen an evening cultural show named as Dharohar, so yes, I belong to that Sansthan, that institute. Okay, so I would like to share a presentation with you, which first of all, let me tell you, I'm not a folk artist. I'm not a folk dancer or folk singer, but yes, I am a folklorist because I have been with the different folk communities, different tribal communities of Rajasthan since last 13 years because I'm an anchor, plus I'm associated with Dharohar Folk Dance Institute. Okay, so let me share my presentation with you. If it is not visible, if any technical glitch is there, then please let me know. So accordingly, I can work out on that. Okay, so I hope it is visible to everyone. Yes, okay. Just a second, I'll make it a full screen. Okay, so first of all, just let me tell you a brief about what are the folk dances. According to me, folk dance is basically something which reflects the life of people of certain, a particular region or a country. Because many of the Rajasthani folk dances, they actually depict the story of the people, what they were doing earlier and what they are doing now. That is the main thing. And it held it folk dances held a folk dance gathering or social functions, people with little or no professional training. So the basic thing in folk dances and Rajasthani folk dances I have observed is that many folk dances have originated from the social gatherings. So let's take example of Ghumar dance. It has a very specific reason of performance, and that specific reason is a social function or a social gathering, and from there on it originated as a folk dance. There are other examples also which I will be giving you slide by slide. Then it is not generally designed for public performance or to be performed on the stage, though they may later be arranged to set on the stage performance. So many of the performance are like now on the stage. For example, if you have heard about Tera Tali dance, that Tera Tali dance is performed specifically on the occasion of a particular community, on a festival which is performed by the Kamar community. But now we have brought that particular folk dance on the stage to connect with the audience, or to say promote folk dances. So if you say folk dances, it has become a synonym of our daily life. I connect folk dances as our daily life and the daily life of communities, different tribal communities. What are Rajasthani folk dances? According to me, Rajasthani folk dances are most colorful, most elegant folk culture, because many of the folk dances are connected to Rajputi culture. And Rajputi culture, you might be knowing, it's very elegant, very sophisticated. So many of the folk dances are elegant and colorful. Each dance form has a different and interesting story behind them, which I will be telling you one by one. It can be understood and learned easily. So Rajasthani folk dances, what I have observed, because since last 3 years, from COVID time, we have started online classes of Rajasthani folk dances. Earlier, we were giving only offline classes in Udaipur, but now we have started online also. What I have observed is that it's very easy to learn Rajasthani folk dance, because it can be understood easily, its translation can be understood easily, and steps are not so difficult. Okay. Except few of the technical dances for which you have to be physically present. And each dance form has their specific folk song. It's not that you are playing one XYZ song and you're performing the dance. It's not like that. If you're performing Kalbelia, then particular Kalbelia folk song will be there. If you're performing Ghumar, then particular Ghumar folk song will be there. So that's also a very interesting part about Rajasthani folk dances. Like in Punjabi folk dance, we can play any Punjabi folk song and we can perform the steps. But that is not with the Rajasthani folk dances. Then, yes, this is very interesting part. This Rajasthani folk dances goes from generation to generation. So it has been my honor that our Dharohar Folk Dance Institute, and now we are about to complete 24 years. So we have worked with 3 generations till now, and 4th generation is working with us in our program. So this Rajasthani folk dances goes from generation to generation. And for that, we should be indeed thankful to all the folk artists, because they are keeping our folk culture alive and promoting it. And nowadays, one interesting part is happening. That this is just a summary which I'm giving. Till now, authentic folk dance was happening. So, like, if we have to perform Chari dance was performed specifically by Gurjar community on their specific occasions. But now these folk dances and folk artists have integrated these folk songs and folk dances with modern taste, and with different educational patterns. Now, for that reason, these folk dances have become very useful to the general public also. So this is what just a summary, and now we'll go through all these things. Let me tell you, let me brief you about Rajasthani folk dances. If according to my studies, if I have to divide folk dances, there are 2 parts. One is non-technical, one are technical. Now, what is technical folk dances? Technical folk dances are those dances in which you require props to perform, and which requires your specific time to learn. For say Chari dance, it at least needs 20 to 25 days along with the props to learn that particular Chari dance. Teratal dance. Teratal dance needs almost 2 months to learn. And if I say, if you have to learn it with all the minute details, it will definitely take 3.5 months to learn this Teratal dance. And it has many props also. Say Bhavai dance. Bhavai dance needs almost 3 to 4 months if you are learning that, and say 6 months also if you are learning it minutely. So technical dances are those art forms which require props and which require rigorous training. Now let's come to non-technical part. Non-technical folk dances like Ghumar, Gorband, Kalbelia. These are the non-technical dances which require less timing for the training And that doesn't have any specific props to be used. Though costumes are different in all the folk dances, but there are not no specific props for these non-technical dances. So yes, this is also one of the important part of my study. Why I told that Rajasthani folk dances are very colorful. The reason being there are many Rajasthani communities, folk communities, tribal communities who perform different folk dances and tribal dances. Like one is Kamar community, they perform specifically Terah Tal dance. Then we have Gurjar or say Gujjar community, which specifically perform Chari dance. Then we have Bhil community, which specifically perform Gauri dance. Then we have Gametis, we have Bhat people, the community, this community specifically perform puppet show, the thread puppet show. Okay, so that is specifically performed by Bhat community. Then we have Kalbelia and Snake Charmers. They specifically perform Kalbelia dance. We have Jat, we have Meena, Kumhar, Kathodi. Now this Kathodi community, they perform war stories of our kings. Okay, then we have Bhopa. They perform Ravan Hatta. Ravan Hatta is a musical instrument. So they don't dance, but they perform this particular musical instrument, Ravan Hatta. We have Bahurupiyas. Then we have Sahariyas. Then we have folk singers like Langa and Mangniyar. So we have so many communities performing different dances, and that's why this Rajasthani folk culture is very colorful. Okay, so now let me come to the technical dance part. First technical dance is Terha Tal dance. This Terha Tal dance is performed by the Kamar community of Rajasthan, which is the like Kamar community. Kamar community are the people who are devotees of Baba Ramdev. And Baba Ramdev was incarnation of Lord Krishna. So there are many nights on which they just the whole night they sing bhajans for Baba Ramdev, and while the male singers sing bhajan for the Lord Baba Ramdev, meanwhile all the ladies they dance this Terha Tal dance, and the ladies tie 13 brass metals on their body and then play these 13 brass metals in different 13 tunes. So in Hindi, as you might be knowing, 13 means terah and tal means rhythm. That's why this dance has been named as Terah Tal dance. Okay. And one more interesting part about this dance is that all the steps which these ladies do, those steps depict household works performed by the ladies. Like for example, you are making lassi, you are making curd. Okay, so that step is like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, something like this. Okay, then suppose you are washing the clothes or drying the clothes on the rope. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so there are many steps which depict the household works performed by the ladies. Okay, and one most interesting part about this Terah Tali dance is that it is the only folk dance which is performed in the sitting position. So in this dance, all the ladies sit and perform the dance. And the costume for the same is poshak, which I will be showing you further. So as I told you earlier that all the Rajasthani folk dances have their specific folk song for their performance. Okay. So in Terah Tal dance, the folk song is this one, which I have written in Hindi, but I will be explaining you in English also. So just give me a second. I have to. Okay. Okay. So this is a song which tells, Hey Rooney Chera Dhania Ajmal Jira Kamra. I'm just reading for you 2-3 lines. Mata Mena Dera Lal, Rani Netal Ra Bhartar, Maro Helo, Sunoji Rama Peer. So what does it mean in the whole song? In the whole song of almost it's almost 10 to 15 minutes song. In this whole song, they are praising Lord Baba Ramdev. And they're saying that at every home you are being worshipped. In every village, we have your temple. whosoever is worshipping you, it gets whatever they want in their life. So, oh God, we bow at your service. We put flowers at your feet. So please fulfill our wish too. Okay. So, hey Runi Chera Dhania Ajmal Jira Kamra. So Ajmal ji is name of father of God Baba Ramdev. Mata Mena Dera Lal. Mata means mother. So his mother's name was Mena De. Mena. Okay. Mena Dera Lal. Lal means son. So this is how they are praising God Baba Ramdev, and they're performing the dance over this. So this is the link which I will be providing. These are the props in Teratal dance. These are brass metals, which we call cymbals, manjiras. So there are different sizes of manjiras. Two manjiras, which you will be using in your hand, they are of small size. Okay, which you are using there here on arms, they are of big size. Which you are using on the leg, there are medium size. So this is all together brass metals which these ladies use in the dance. And you can see over the head, it is puja thali. So to worship God Baba Ramdev, they put these pots over their head and they decorate it. Okay. Let me show you the video. But before the video, I would like to tell you one more thing, that what is happening nowadays, keeping the authenticity alive, many people are doing another thing. They are performing this dance on other song, on any Bollywood song or something like that, which specifically Dharohar Institute doesn't follow that thing, because it's not authentic. So we have to keep our folk culture alive. That's why. And the other thing, 13 means 13. That means you have to use 13 brass metals. Just to go on, few people are taking only four in your hands, one here and one over the leg. They complete it. So it's not the thing. We have to carry forward the tradition. That's why we have to carry forward the authenticity also. Okay, so yeah, let me share the video with you. You will just get a glance of that. If it's not audible, if it's not visible, then please let me know. I will accordingly work out. So this was Teratal dance. You might have witnessed that how these ladies are putting their brass metals over their body and then playing it. Okay. Moving forward to the next performance. Okay. So now the other technical dance is Bhavai dance, which you might be knowing. It's very popular dance and it depicts the earlier struggling life of people living in the Western Rajasthan. So in Western Rajasthan, as you all know, it's a desert area. All the wells were very far away from the village in which ladies were living, people were living. So they had to manage bringing water. So instead of going again and again, they used to bring 7 to 8 pots on their head together. 7 to 8 pots on their head, then one here, then baby on the baby along with the baby, they are struggling. So this is what depicts Bhavai dance. How the villagers used to make their complicated life also very easy. How they used to make their daily routine also very easy. This is what Bhavai dance shows. Many of the people, when they come to Dharohar, they tell me that why you keep all these steps. Like for example, there is one step in which the dancer is taking 2 pots on her head, and then she is walking on the glasses, the broken glasses. The other step is there are 6 to 7 pots on her head and she's walking on the sword. The another step is she is having few pots on her head and then she is putting her feet on the pots, on the glasses, and then she's standing on the glass and then she's taking all the pots. So my simple answer to this question is that we have to keep authenticity alive. And all these props depict the struggles which they were facing. Like at that time, people doesn't used to, people were not used to wear slippers or footwears. They used to walk miles and miles without their footwears. And that time they used to face many troubles, like the hot scent was there. There were many pebbles, there were many thorns. All these things are depicted through these props. That's why we have to keep all these props for their dances. And this Bhavai dance is performed on various songs, or say mashup of all the Rajasthani folk songs, because this dance is almost it can take almost half an hour to perform, because it has 9 to 10 pots and then one by one many props. Majorly this dance is performed on a very popular song, that is Sagar Pani Bharwa Jaun Sa Najar Lag Jaye, which means I used to go to wells to fill up the water, and I look so beautiful when I carry so many pots on my head together, that people used to say, wow, she's beautiful. No. So she tells that everyone see at me with evil eyes. So please, please do something which protects me from all the evil eyes, something like this, through the song. Is it audible? Not audible. Okay,
Are you playing an
that's okay.
audio?
No, yeah, that's okay. So yeah,
Okay.
here you can see these are the many props of Bhavai dance. In the middle, she's now no more with us, but yeah, she was our senior most artist, Jai Shri Rao. She used to take 11 pots on her head together, and she used to, you can see her broken glass. She used to walk on the broken glasses, and then she used to pick up the handkerchief along with the pots. Okay. Now, there are some of the variations in this Bhavai dance. Many people perform glass Bhavai. You can see here one male performing a glass Bhavai. They put glass over their head and then pots on the glasses, or glass, then one plate, then few more glasses, then another plate, then few more glasses. Something like that. Okay. You can see Nishtha ji is also performing the Bhavai dance. She's picking up that currency note. So these are the different kinds of props which are depicting the struggling life of the villagers in earlier era. Okay, let me show you the small video of the same thing. walking on a plate. So this was Bhavai dance, and for all these videos, I am very thankful to the team of Lok Dharohar, where they have recently started the show during COVID time to help the folk artists of Udaipur, because during COVID time it was a bit struggle. You all might be knowing all that stuff. Okay, so moving forward, let's come to the another technical dance form, that is Chari dance, which is basically originated from the northern Rajasthan, that is Kishangarh district. Between Delhi and Udaipur, Jaipur, there is a district named as Kishangarh. So this Chari dance has originated from Kishangarh area, and it is performed by the community known as Gurjar community. The ladies of Gurjar community used to perform this particular dance on different happy occasions like wedding ceremonies, or say baby birth is there, or say something interesting is there. Earlier they used to perform when there was a victory in the war. That time they used to perform, but now they used to perform on all the happy occasion. So in this dance, they put a metallic pot, a brass pot on their head with fire, which symbolizes every day's hard work and how they enjoy their struggling life also. So all these folk dances teach one thing to us, that is how to face your struggle also that time. And all the steps in this dance, this is very interesting thing you will be observing in video also. In earlier days, this dance was performed by the expected ladies. So yoga is something which is connected to our folk dance also. That time expected, the pregnant ladies used to perform this dance because they used to perform many steps which is performed by the pregnant ladies, which is beneficial for their pregnancy. So all these steps you will be observing here in the video which I will be showing. So yes, another interesting thing about Chari dance is there is no specific song for this particular folk dance. This folk dance is performed on the beats of drum and bakia. I will show you the folk instruments also, and metallic plate. So this particular folk dance is performed only on the beats of folk instruments, which is performed on the dhol, bakia and thali, which I told you. This is the costume of Chari dance. So now costume also changes from different dance to dance. Like in Teratar dance, there is poshak. In Ghumar also there is poshak. But in Chari dance, we have costume like this. This lehenga with so many pleats to get more frills. Okay. And then they wear chunni and blouse over it. Major part of this whole costume is the lehenga, the skirt, which has so many pleats to get more frills. Okay, time to show the video again. It's a small. At the back, look at that folk instrument, that is bankia. It's a long flute. Okay, then right hand side there's a big drum that is known as dhol, and the other person is playing the metallic plate. So this is Chari dance. I'm glad to share with you all that till now we have trained almost 105 students for this, or from all over the world, 105 students for this Chari dance. Okay, so these are the props. This is metallic or steel pot, and this is idoni, the ring base. You can observe one more thing. In the middle of this pot, there is one ball. Okay. In this ball, we put kapas. What is kapas? The cotton seeds. The cotton seeds and little bit of kerosene we put for the fire. So on the little bit balancing technique says that, you know, you have to put sand or rice or wheat, something in your pot, and you have to put your neck straight for the postures and everything. It's very interesting video of just 1 minute, just to try if you want to try anytime for this. Just
Hi friends, today we will learn first basics of chari dance and how to prepare chari, that is metallic pot, and idoni, the base ring of it. First of all, we have to take a metallic pot and put raw wheat or sand or rice in it to make a balance.
so it's not the class. I'm showing this video to make one point to you. That was intentional. Intentionally, I was doing this thing. What these folk artists were doing earlier was only dance. Okay, they were dancing to enjoy their life and to come out of their whole day struggle. Okay, and to celebrate festive occasions. But nowadays, our folk artists are doing this dance to earn money. So this is the big difference. You know, when you dance to enjoy, it's completely different thing. When you dance to earn money or to earn fame, it's a completely different thing. The reason being, there are many modernization which has come in folk dance forms. That is the reason we have been focusing on keeping the authenticity alive. So that's why I was showing this video, that this is how our artists are teaching dance also. So this is just a modernization concept. That's it. Okay. So moving forward to the next thing. Okay, so now we are coming to the non-technical dances. The very first non-technical dance is Gorband dance. As you all know that India is an agriculture-dependent country where most of the farmers are dependent on animals, especially they are dependent on cows, buffaloes, and camels. The people living in desert area are dependent on camels. Okay, in Rajasthan, you might be knowing, in India, we celebrate the very famous festival is Diwali. Okay. So one day after Diwali, the next day of Diwali, we celebrate a festival known as Khekra. That's a new year. Okay. So on that particular day, all the farmers used to decorate their animals. Especially they used to decorate the camels. And all the decorative items which you can see here in the picture also, all these decorative items are known as gorband. And in this, that's a very interesting story in this gorband, that I told you earlier that all the major of the folk dances, most of the folk dances have originated from the group activities, or the social activities, or the social gatherings. Okay, so what is the origination of this gorband dance? Five, six ladies are sitting together, and they're stitching their gorband. They're making a gorband. Okay, they're decorating the gorband. They're stitching the gorband. They're putting pearls in it. They're putting mirrors in it. And during that time, they're gossiping with each other that my gorband is the best one because this is the reason. For example, one of the ladies says that my gorband is the best one because I have put pearls in it which my husband brought from foreign country. Okay, another lady says that my gorband is the best one because my husband said it, and for that he brought a red blouse for me as a gift. So, this is how many ladies, one of the ladies says that my gorband is the best one because my mother-in-law praised about my gorband. So that's a big achievement for her. So this is how this makes the whole dance story very interesting. And in the whole dance also, in the whole song also, this is the translation that my gorband is the best one. This is the particular reason. Okay, and this dance is performed with a very beautiful attire. It's a specific song. O ladli luma jhuma raj maro gorband nakralo, alija maro gorband nakralo. The translation of the song is, "Oh, my dear friend, see my gorband. It is very beautiful, fabulous, and the best one." And now, paragraph by paragraph, each and every lady will be giving her specific reason. This is the costume of gorband. It's very colorful attire, a skirt with lots of frills, then the blouse and the chunni, the odhni with beautiful golden sparkles and all the beautiful attire. And they put many jewelries here also, in the arms also. They used to wear this baju and gorband, everything they used to wear. Showing you a little video, a small video of the same thing. Colina ji, can you just tell me if we are running short of time? Then I can skip the videos if you tell me, because we have 3 more dances to discuss, and
Okay.
the future of the current scenario of the folk dances.
Okay, so we're at 8:34 and we'll go until 9. So if you want to just take let's take 15 more minutes
Okay.
because we'll leave time for questions, and also we have Katrina ji giving a short presentation at the
So
end.
I will wrap accordingly. So let's skip this Gorband video. I will be showing another video of this dance. Okay, so we can discuss further. Yeah, so this is the Gorband. Then, yes, this is very interesting, which I would like to discuss with everyone. Kalbelia dance. Now, Kalbelia dance, as you all know, it is performed by the snake charmers of Rajasthan. Their traditional occupation was to catch snakes and make medicines through their venom. But after the Wildlife Act 1972, they were not allowed to catch snakes and commercially use them. Since then, they used to go door to door in different villages and perform this dance. And pioneer of this struggle has been Padma Shri Srimati Gulabo Sapera ji. She gave this dance an international identity, and I'm proud to say that this dance has been enlisted in the most intangible assets of the world by UNESCO. So the beautiful thing about Kalbelia dance is that it is very fast rhythm dance, because the girls in this dance move like a snake. There is no specific story in this dance. There's no specific story of Kalbelia dance. But the kinds of moves all these ladies have, they just depict the moves of snakes. So it's the beauty of the dance. And yes, as I told you earlier also, there is a specific song which is used in Kalbelia dance, that is Kalyo Kood Padiyo Mele Mein Cycle Panchar Kar Rayo. So This song also has a specific story, but that story is not related to the Kalbelia dance. The story of song is different, the story of dance is different. This is the costume of Kalbelia dance, black attire, and then colorful beads in this. And this one more specific thing about Kalbelia costumes is that it is stitched by the dancers only. They stitch for themselves. All the jewelry is also stitched by them. The jewelry is made up of pearls and everything, shells they make for themselves. So this is very interesting thing. It's not that any tailor is there or somebody is there stitching clothes for you. The artists are stitching clothes for themselves. Yes, I would like to show this video. It's very interesting video. Okay. Let's see if it's working. The audio might be might not be audible to you, but you can see this video at least. Sorry, some technical glitch. Okay, let's leave it. I will be sending this. Okay. The best thing about Rajasthani folk dances is their costumes and jewelry. You might have noticed this till now. Okay, so let's come to the Ghumar dance. Ghumar is synonym of Rajasthani folk culture. So if I say that I have seen a Rajasthani folk dance, a specific person who is not knowing anything, a very layman's in a very layman's language, he will be telling, I have seen Ghumar dance. Okay, so that has become synonym of Rajasthani folk culture. It was earlier performed by the ladies of only royal families of Mewar region. So there are two regions of Rajasthan. One is Mewar, one is Marwar. But this dance has originated from Mewar region. The Rajput ladies, the royal family, the ladies of royal families of Mewar region used to perform this dance. And it now has become one of the most common and famous dance of the state. In this dance, ladies say that we are proud of our community, we are proud of our dance, we are proud of our culture, we are proud of our song, we are proud of our purity. And ladies put a veil on their face, which is known as ghungat system. So this specific song, Omari Ghumar Che Nakrali Ema, it is the song on which this dance is performed. Nowadays, in weddings also, in many occasions also, on any of the songs, people used to perform Ghumar, but no, this is the specific song of Ghumar, in which there's a beautiful storyline in this dance that a young girl now she's grown up and now she's happy to know that her parents are searching for a good bridegroom for her. Okay, so she's happy and she wants to express her happiness to her mother, because in earlier days, in Rajput families, girls were not allowed to talk to their father or brothers. So they used to talk to only mothers, and that too, they used to share very little with them. So in this whole song, the girls are sharing their happiness with their mother, that I'm glad to know that I'm getting married now, and many proposals are coming for me. So for that, You bring makeup items for me. I want to get decked up. I want to look beautiful. Or say, bring laddus or sweets for me so that I can dance a lot. I can enjoy a lot with my friends. And I want to perform this Ghumar dance before I leave my parents' home. So this is a storyline in Ghumar song. This is costume, this which is known as poshak. This is Rajputi Poshak. It's a costume of 4 pieces. One is blouse, then you have a jacket, you have the skirt, and you have this chunri. And jewelry is also specific in this. You used to wear boar, then you used to wear tight necklace because the blouse is of whole covered area. So that's why you used to wear this to see. You wear this chudiya, poshak, and baju. So all these attire, all these things are worn in Ghumar dance. Let's watch a small part of this, and then we will be remaining with just few more things to discuss. So this is Ghumar dance. And the best part about Ghumar dance nowadays is that it is performed by all the ladies of not specifically of royal communities, but of any community. They used to perform this dance on all the happy occasions. That's why I told that it has become synonym of Rajasthani folk art. Okay, now this was about authenticity and till now how these dances were performed. But nowadays, these folk dances are being used in a different way, in a modern way, in this present era. So, like in wedding events, for bridal entries, for carnivals, for corporate events, for school programs, for educational purpose, to depict some education messages like as sustainable development growth messages, we have to present to school children of different schools. That time we use these folk dances to depict the message. So this is how in today's era, our folk artists are also able to generate extra income for them through usage of all these folk dances. Yes, so this is all from my side. I'm open for all the questions and I would like to discuss these things with you.
If anyone has a question, feel free to use the raise hand option or type your question in the chat if you don't want to unmute.
Somebody has written a question here. Can you please repeat the question? Sorry, I didn't get it. Chari used to be performed when at the beginning, when a tree in a wall. Sorry, I didn't get the question. Can you please repeat the question?
Hi.
Yeah, hi.
Thanks so much, Dee. Yeah, when you shared about how Chari dance started performing, you mentioned, maybe maybe it's my English, I don't know. About a tree on a wall, you said?
No,
That's what
no,
I
no.
understood.
Chari dance was performed earlier by the ladies of Gurjar families.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
But first, before performing in each happy celebration, you said the first reason for performing was.
Yeah, not tree. It's the victory. Victory when they were having wars. Yeah, when there was victory of their king, that time they used to perform earlier.
Thank you,
Yeah,
thank you. It was
welcome.
definitely my
Yeah, no,
English.
that's
Sorry.
okay.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Anything about Rajasthani folk dance or any specific dance? We have one more Gair dance also, which is performed by specifically by Rajasthani males. That is the dance in which females don't used to they don't used to perform. Males used to perform in that dance. And in Gavri also, Gavri is a tribal dance, not folk dance. But in that tribal dance also, no ladies are allowed to perform. Even the character of a lady is performed by males only. So that is also few interesting parts about Rajasthani folk and tribal dances.
Himani ji, I had a couple like kind of clarifications.
Sure.
So initially you had a list of communities and one was Katori. I'm
Kathak.
just looking at that word and we just had the conversation about Kathak communities. I wonder if that's a kind of any connection with Kathak
No
community?
connection.
Okay.
No connection. Yeah.
Okay.
Kathodi is a community which they used to perform majorly musical things, not specific dance. And through their music, they used to narrate the stories of victory of the kings.
It's interesting because they're storytellers.
Yeah,
So,
they are
I
more
mean,
roasted. Yeah.
okay. And then the other thing was that Gorband dance is specific to any community or it's kind of performed amongst all communities?
Performed amongst all the communities, but specifically it is performed by the farmers.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
because it's related to harvesting also. It's moreover related to harvesting also, and it's in desert area. It is related to decoration of camels. So it is performed by the farmers.
okay. So my last question was in Theratali, I've been to Baba Ramdev temple and this was many years ago and it was quite an experience. It was this kind of all-night experience of watching so many different kinds of communities come together. And to me, what really was this ambiance was almost like there was kind of a trance thing happening. And I'm not saying that there was some kind of ritual trance that was specified, but the atmosphere, it was like at 3 o'clock in the morning, people were playing music and everyone, of course, is going to the temple and having darshan and has traveled so far. And I just wonder if there's any, like, was Teratali kind of a trance dance, could you say? Because I watched these women kind of, you know, with very kind of diffused gaze. Like, to me, they looked like they were kind of going into trance. Is that kind of a purpose, maybe in that context?
Yeah, it's a very good question because when I told you that earlier also I told you that these folk dances are now performed on the stage. Okay, to give them a commercial come and to give them exposure, we have started to bring these dances on the stage. Earlier, it was performed only on their festive occasions. So yes, they used to get trance in these dances, but nowadays it's not, because why that used to happen, the whole night you are singing bhajans, the whole night you are worshiping your god. Okay, and other thing is I showed you that prop. Okay, one plate is there and in that plate they used to put two pots. Okay, that is a plate for to worship their god. Okay, in that plate in the stage performance they don't used to put anything, but in the real performance they used to put different material of puja, different materials of puja, like deepak, kapoor. They used to put different things which brings them in transform. So yes, in reality it happens. In Gauri also it happens. And in Gauri, I have witnessed many times in Dharohar also. During the performance, audience used to get scared. My God, what's happening? But we have really witnessed it. And when I'm telling this, I got my goosebumps because it has happened many times with us in Dharohar show also.
Wonderful. If anyone has any final questions, please do unmute yourself. Otherwise, Himani ji, thank you so much, and thank you for your work and your commitment to holding these traditions that are so precious. For me, your talk was really important to include in the festival because I feel like often when Rajasthani dance is mentioned, as you said, people say, "Oh, Gumar," or there's a picture of a Kalbelia dancer. Whereas actually Rajasthani culture is not a monolith. It's a very diverse culture with so many layers, and as you mentioned, men's dance, women's dance, different contexts when it goes to the stage. So really you helped to articulate that point. That's very valuable, because if we can understand the diversity and the richness of culture, that it's not just one solid unit to be put in a museum, then I think we can find a way to support it and cultivate a future for culture. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much for providing me this platform to speak about Rajasthani folk art.
Yeah, I'll just mention, when we began the talk, I'm sure there's so many more people have tuned in. We had listeners from Mexico, Canada, US, France, Colombia, and Morocco, just to mention a few. So this is Rajasthan to the world.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So thank you.
Thank you, Kolinja. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
So yeah, Katrina ji has also mentioned something. Yeah. Can we just keep
I'm just going to invite Katrina ji. Just one moment. I'm going to add her to. Suddenly, there's so many people tuning in.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Okay. So I would like to welcome Katrina ji, who is also, her heart also beats in Rajasthan. I've known Katrina ji for many years, and somehow we meet again in Rajasthan. And I welcome you, Katrina, and I wanted to hand over the mic to you and let you share just a little bit, just briefly, these last few minutes of the conference about your project and any thoughts you'd like to share with us.
Yes, thank you so much, Kalina, for having me. It seems very surreal to be in a screen seeing you, since I was just there a few days ago. So thank you for having me, and thank you for your amazing vision on this festival and your intent. I was really happy to speak with you about all of that. So just a quick little bit about my background for those that don't know who I am. First off, I'm insanely obsessed with the folk arts of Rajasthan. Anyone that knows me knows how crazy enthusiastic I am about that. I've been working with these people for nearly 20 years now, and I've become a member of the International Dance Council, CID UNESCO. And I mean, during lockdown, we did online classes with the folk artists. That's when I connected with Himani. We were hosting their classes along with Kabylia classes and so many things. And it's endless, the amount of work. I literally closed my dance school in Seattle to focus on Rajasthan, because I understood the need for awareness and support of what these folk arts are. And also I wanted to empower the people from those communities by bringing more awareness in the US, because I feel like if more people know what it is and take interest in doing it, then that'll generate more revenue and income for the folk artists. And like, I'm really raw right now because I literally just lived in the village for 2 days with some of the musicians I've been working with, and it got a little more real than it had been. You know, it's like you think you know something, but every time you really get to know something. So I'm insanely motivated right now to keep moving forward, because it's not easy trying to convince people to get interested in something that they have no idea what it is. So I'm excited to see so many people here at the festival, and all the connections that we've been making online with each other. So one of the projects I'm currently working on and have been working on for over a decade is creating an online dance school with recorded material. So I think we even have some of Himani's classes in there with the folk artists. Because, you know, we, like everyone else, we tried the Zoom thing during lockdown, and it's just not easy with all the different time zones and whatever. So I was like, we just need to record the classes. And actually back in 2014, I recorded a series of videos with Sua Devi when we were on our first USA tour with Rajasthani Caravan. And I just uploaded those maybe a month ago, with her permission, of course. And I haven't really had a chance to make it very well known that this thing exists yet, because it's taking a lot of work, filming the dancers and bringing all the material together. But there's quite a few hours of material, and it's going to keep growing and growing. I want it to be a place where people can not only support the folk artists, but also it's a good focal point to learn the authentic form of each dance. Because along my journey, you know, I learned a lot of the dances from Kabylia teachers originally, and then came to realize, oh, each community has its own dance. And in order to do it authentically, you got to learn it from the people who it comes from, because it's quite different when you learn the different dances from the different communities, which it's fine, it's all an expression of art, but to have a deeper understanding, because each community has their own languages too, so it goes pretty deep. The other thing is, on my website, I'm selling the costumes and the supplies. So I always go through Himani and the Kamad community for all the Teratali supplies, and I support different Kabylia dancers and connecting people with getting their costumes made. So that's all readily available. And the other thing is I'm currently working on our third USA tour for Rajasthani Caravan. I haven't really publicly announced that yet. I'm almost done booking the tour. We're doing the whole US. This is more about my mission and vision of spreading this far and wide so that more people will have access to it, know what it is, keep the art alive, because you can't have access to Rajasthani folk artists in America. They're not here. I mean, you have people like me and some other practitioners that are teaching and sharing the dance, but to actually see the real deal, you have to go to Rajasthan. So we'll be launching a fundraiser soon to help support that. You can connect with me through my website, katrinag.com. And something that I want to bring up in a dialogue or conversation is how can we best support these folk artists and respect them as we are moving into this excitement and interest of Rajasthani folk dance. So before I got all into this, I was really into belly dance. And I think a lot of people come from belly dance into this folk arts. And what I'm seeing happen now is what was happening back when I started also is a lot of artists are fusing the dances. They're like, oh, I like this. I want to take these steps into my dance, which is totally fine and awesome, and keep doing that. But the one thing that's, I don't know how to best address it, but the thing that always kind of bothers me, and it's just personal, is watching people take it like straight into belly dance and dancing as a belly dancer. Like most recently, the thie dance has been brought into belly dance. I've had a lot of dancers reach out to me wanting to buy the pots, and I'm like, fine, you can buy the pots. I don't say anything, but I'm watching this. And the Gujar community, from where the thie dance comes from, is the one community out of in the past 20 years that I have not been able to meet yet, because they're still scared to connect with foreigners because they don't want to lose their work. And here I'm thinking, will I ever meet these people if they find out that we're taking their dance and dancing with an open belly? Because you may not realize this, but in the Rajasthani communities, the women are dressed very modestly and they have a very deep culture. And even in some of the communities, the women have to veil their faces in front of their in-laws and such. So I'm watching this and it's like, yeah, it looks really cool. I mean, it looks really freaking cool. I love what a lot of people are doing. But how do we connect and support while we do this at the same time? So there you go. There's my question.
Thank you, Katrina G, for your question and for sharing some of your projects. I also feel like there's kind of two things in your brief presentation that I also really resonate with, and I don't have the answer, but it's a question. I think questions don't need to be answered immediately, but they definitely need to be raised, and that's precisely why we have these kind of things, these kind of conferences and workshops. How can we best support the artists and the arts of Rajasthan to reach a wider audience? And you've certainly been like on the ground with that effort. It's not a small thing to organize a tour, and it's not a small thing just to put on one concert. I'm doing it right now. We have our live show on March 8th, and it's just a lot of energy, and it's a lot to kind of convince an audience to come and see a folk performance. So I think that just the question of how we can support and how we can represent these arts to a wider audience is one question that we should be asking. And also, in what way is it appropriate to take inspiration from traditional arts? And in what way does that take away from traditional communities, possibly? And in what ways, like, is dance? I mean, dance is a universal expression, so there's certainly overlap. But I think, as a teacher, I always want students to be asking those questions to themselves. What are your values? Why are you doing a traditional form? And finally, one of our values in our school is to celebrate culture. So the question I ask myself when I get inspired for fusion is, like, is this a celebration of something that relates to culture, or is it actually damaging culture? Like, thinking about a long-term effect. And finally,
I think we all should be asking those questions. So thanks. I like to end this conference with a question. If anyone else has something they would like to share very briefly, please do. Otherwise, I hope that we take this question home and move forward from a place of intention and intelligence. So thank you, everyone. I don't see anyone's kind of chiming in. So thanks, everyone, for joining. It's been a beautiful few hours. Today, we had the chance to learn Cheri dance, Kathak. We were doing different types of Rajasthani dance every day here in the classes. So it's been a beautiful day, and we've just started the festival. So thank you, everyone, for being here. Our next meeting online is day after tomorrow, and the topic is Kalbelia. So the Kalbelia dance presented by Ayla, who will give her dissertation research. We have Asha Sapera joining us to talk about her story. We have Rani Sapera, daughter of Katu Sapera, an 18-year-old wonder girl of the Kalbelia community, is going to do a PowerPoint presentation. And we have Sage, who is an incredible filmmaker and artist who is making a documentary film on the Kalbelia women and dance. So it's a lot of interesting conversation happening in the next online conference, and I look forward to seeing all of you there. Thank you so much for joining and for your support.